Hello students, this video is to help you with section 6.02. Please make sure you copy all of the problems presented in this video and copy all of the work as well. Question number 1, please copy this down. The number 5 is included in which of the following solutions? Choose all that apply. So for the first answer choice, it's saying that they want everything less than -3. So if we have a number line and you have -3, they want everything to the left of that. And then it says, or they want everything to the right, anything greater than +4. Okay, so is 5 included in this? Yeah, 5 would be right here, and it's included. So that first one is an answer. Let's talk about the second answer choice. On that one, they want anything that's greater than or equal to 5. So on this one, if we have 5, they want the 5, so we're going to bubble it in because the 5 is included, and they want everything greater. Greater is to the right. Numbers get greater as you go to the right. See how the numbers get bigger and bigger? So they want everything to the right. So my question is 5 included? Yes, it is. 5 is included. So pick that one as well. The third answer choice says anything where x is less than 5. And it doesn't have the little or equal to underneath. So for that one, imagine there's a 5. It's not including the 5, so I'm not going to bubble it in. And they want everything to the left because numbers get smaller as you go to the left. So that's less than. Right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Numbers are getting smaller. Is 5 included on that one? And the answer is no, it's not. So don't pick that one because the 5 is not bubbled in. So remember, if the alligator has nothing underneath, that means it's not or equal to, so it's not going to be bubbled in. But if the alligator or the inequality has a line underneath it, that means it's included. It's less than or equal to, or it's greater than or equal to. So when you draw your picture, that means you're going to bubble in that circle. So it means it's included because it's or equal to. All right. For the last one, they want everything that's between 0 and 4 because the x is between. So if you have 0 and 4, it's everything in between that. Okay, so is 5 included on that? No, 5 is on the outside. It's not included. So don't pick that one. So your answers are the first and the second one. Question number 2. What is the solution set for this inequality? What you have to do here is you have to get x by itself. So you have x plus 8. X plus 8 is less than 9. And you're going to get the x by itself. I always like to put the line down the equal sign or the inequality. And then I ask myself, who's bothering the x? And in this case, it's the 8. How do you get rid of a plus 8? Well, you have to subtract 8. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. So x is now alone. X is less than 9 take away 8 is 1. So this is one answer. Notice though that this is not it. You have the word or, and then you have another problem that you have to do. -4x is less than or equal to -8. So you have to solve this one as well and get the x by itself. Who's bothering the x on this one? The -4 is. It's really close to the x. That means it's being multiplied. How do you get rid of a -4 that's being multiplied? Well, you have to divide by a -4. And whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. So x, and then 4 goes into 8 twice. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. And for this problem, something weird is going to happen. We are going to switch the inequality sign the other direction. Why? Because we divided both sides by a -4. So because of this negative on both sides, that's why we're switching the inequality. Okay, that is very important. Anytime you divide both sides of an inequality by a negative, you have to switch the sign. Make sure you copy that down. If you look at the answer choices, the only answer choice that looks like ours is the third one. So please pick that one as your answer. Question number 3. What is the solution set for 4x minus 6 is less than negative 22 or 6x plus 2 is greater than negative 4? This problem is pretty much exactly what we did right now. So I'm going to go ahead and work that out pretty quickly here. So I just worked out this problem very quickly. Feel free to pause the video and look at all of my little steps. But like for example, 4x minus 6. I knew that the minus 6 was bothering my x and it's farthest away. So I got rid of the 6 first. It was minus 6, so I did plus 6 on both sides. Then I had to get rid of the 4 bothering the x. And since it's multiplication, they're really close together, that means multiply. The opposite is to divide. So I divided both sides by 4. Now I did the same types of steps to the other problem. And notice that I did not divide by a negative this time. Both sides ended up being divided by positives. So I did not switch my inequality or my alligator. It just stayed the same the way they were, facing the same way. If you look at my work and you look at my answer, you can see that the correct answer to this problem is the last one. So please circle that answer choice. Let's move on to question number 4. What is the solution set for positive 10 less than negative 7x plus 3 is less than 17? So we have two inequalities here, and it's all together. This is actually an AND problem. The word OR isn't here for this one. And your goal is to get the x alone in the middle. So who's bothering the x in the middle? The negative 7, that's really close to the x, and the 3 that's farther away. Who do you get rid of first? The negative 7 or the 3? Hopefully you're thinking the 3 because it's farther away. The way you get rid of a plus 3 is to subtract 3. The opposite of plus is minus. And whatever you do to one side, you have to do to all of the sides. All 3 sides need that step. 17 take away 3 is 14. And 10 take away 3 is 7. Now who's bothering the x? The negative 7 is. How do you get rid of that negative 7 that's super close to the x? It's being multiplied. The opposite of multiply is to divide. So you're going to divide all 3 sides by a negative 7. Now remember what happens when you divide by a negative. That's right. The alligator switches. So if it was facing in the less than direction, now it's going to face in the greater than direction. So they're going to face this way. Okay, drop your answer. So x is alone in the middle. And you have 7 goes into 14 twice, but it's a negative. And 7 goes into 7 once, but it's also a negative. And if you notice on a number line, negative 2 should be on the other side and negative 1 should be on the other side. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch it all so that everything's facing the right way. So our answer is going to be the negative 2 first because it's smaller. Then you switch the inequality. Because you're switching the numbers, you have to switch the inequality. And then the negative 1. This is the answer in the correct format. So this is our final answer. Which answer choice looks like this? The second one does. So our answer is the second one. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 5. What is the solution set for negative 4 less than or equal to 5x plus 6 less than 26? I'm going to go ahead and work this out quickly. Alright, make sure you show work like I did. Look at all of my steps. Pause this video and you'll see that the answer is the second one. Question number 6. What is the solution set for this problem? So this problem's a little different. I'll show you what I mean. So I have 4x minus 6 greater than or equal to 10. But then it says the word and. So I have to somehow put this together, but I'll worry about that at the end. So I'm just going to solve this the way I have been doing it. So here are my two answers. X is greater than or equal to 4 and X is less than or equal to 6. So that would mean that the 4 goes on the left because it's smaller, and then you put your inequality symbols, and then the 6. Okay, so this is your answer. And I know that we had to switch this guy, and the reason why we switched it was because we switched the location of the X and the 4. See how the alligator is eating the X here? So when I switched it, I had to make sure it was still eating the X. So this is my answer, and which answer choice looks most like this? If you look, the one that looks most like this is the first one. So pick that answer choice. Question number 7. Which graph represents the solution set for negative 2x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 7, or 5x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 9? I'm going to go ahead and work these out quickly. So I went ahead and solved the first part, and now I'm working on the second part. So I have the word or, and I'm writing down the second equation. 5x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 9. So please feel free to pause this video to look at all my little steps, because I just skipped through that real quick. So please make sure to pause it if needed. Alright, so here are my two answers. So I have that x is greater than or equal to... Oh, you know what? I noticed a mistake here. I wonder if you noticed it. I divided both sides by a negative on this problem, so I should have switched the inequality. So it should be going the opposite way. Let me check the other one. The other one's good because I divided by a positive on both sides. Okay, so just that one was wrong. Alright, so when I graph this, something's happening at the negative 2 and something's happening at the positive 2. There's lines underneath, so I need to make a circle bubbled in because of the or equal to. That means I need to include it. And then it's an or problem. And whenever it's an or problem, my inequalities are going to point away from each other. Okay? Or always looks like that. They always point away. So which answer choice does this look like? This looks like the first answer choice. Okay, so the answer choice is the first one. Notice how the last one, the bubbles are empty. Okay, so that's why you're not going to pick the last one. And notice how the middle ones are connecting. That means it's an and problem. But the word or clearly tells you they need to point away from each other. Please make sure you draw the pictures and write the question and show the work for this problem. Question number 8, the last problem. Which graph represents the solution set? I'm going to go ahead and work this problem out quickly here. You want to get the x alone in the middle, but there's a negative 1 bothering the x, and there's a 5 bothering the x. Get rid of the negative 1 first, and then work out the problem. And 9 plus 1 is 10. Now that 5 is still bothering the x, close together. The way you get rid of it is to divide by 5. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to all of the sides. X is now alone, and this side equals 2, and the other side equals negative 1. This is an and problem. The way I know is because the word or isn't there. It's all together. Something's happening at the negative 1. Something's happening at the 2. At the 2, I need to bubble it in because of the line underneath. And at the 1,